Welcome back for another video. We're back with the FPL tips video for Double Gameweek 22. This series consists of extremely useful data every game week to guide your decisions. We'll talk a bit about the use cases of each segment throughout this one. Make sure you're subscribing so you don't miss out on all the FPL content here to give you an edge this season. Starting with the Goalscorer odds, which are very useful for captaincy. Logically, you can pick a player likeliest to score and then you're likeliest to get an attack in return. Naturally, it is worth bearing in mind that midfielders get an extra point per goal and 1 point for a clean sheet, so when it's close between a forward and a midfielder, you might want to favour the mid. We've got the combined Double Gameweek Goalscorer odds of Rashford's top with a 58.5% chance of scoring in either fixture. He has 9 goals and 3 assists in his last 10 games. He is the stand-up for captaincy and expected to be the most captained. If you're looking for a differential pick, then Fernandes is the clear alternative. Although he doesn't get on the score sheet as much, he's given a 49% chance in either game, but he does rack up lots more assists than the likes of Rashford and Martial. Goalscorer is always based on the assumption that a player starts, and this might not be the case for Martial. However, he made the League Cup squad to face Nottingham Forest. Aaron to Rodrigo is a logical move this week. Between Game Week 12 and Game Week 16, he scored 46 points from 4 goals and 2 assists. Between Game Week 17 and Game Week 21, he scored 19 points from just 1 goal, a substantial drop-off. With Rodrigo, you're buying your way into a double game week and also a likely Game Week 25 fixture, while Newcastle now have a confirmed blank that game week. If you own De Bruyne, there's a tough call whether to sell for Bruno, with Man City doubling in Game Week 23 immediately after. It's a bit easier to pull off if you're taking 2 transfers into this game week, otherwise it is a bit tricky with booked in transfers, which cannot afford any other issues in your team. Personally, I'm planning to make the switch to Bruno and then aiming to bring De Bruyne back in Game Week 23. Onto the clean sheet odds, which are very useful for when you've got decisions to make between starting 2 goalkeepers or defenders, or likewise useful for making transfers. These odds are combined for the double game week for Man United and Leeds as well, and Man United have been given a 72% chance of keeping 1 clean sheet across both games. We're still away to find out whether Shaw has recovered from illness and available for the double. Hold your transfer until it's close to the deadline if you're looking to bring him in. We should get news from the press conferences. Arsenal and Brighton are joint second with 51.5% chance for their games against Everton and Bournemouth respectively. Everton's first match post-Lampard with Dyche in the dugout, and Brighton will be relieved to have held on to defensive mid Caicedo in the transfer window, which has now shut. Man City are away to Tottenham this weekend, given a 34% chance of a clean sheet. If you're a Kepa and Ederson owner, the odds favour Kepa. If you're an Ederson and Ward owner, the odds favour Ederson. We found out today that Conte's had to undergo surgery, wishing him a speedy recovery. Spurs might be without him for several weeks. Leeds have a 35% chance of keeping a clean sheet in their double game week, which realistically only has potential in their first fixture away to Nottingham Forest. Rock bottom this game week is Bournemouth with 11.5% chance, followed by Everton with a 13.5% chance. It'll be interesting to see if Dyche can transform them into the solid defence we came to recognise at Burnley over the years there. Onto the top projections for Game Week 22. These are across all positions and useful for both captaincy and transfer planning. Rashford and Fernandes are actually neck and neck here, so if you're looking for the upside, or if you're expecting your mini-league rivals to go Rashford and you're looking for a way to catch up, then Fernandes is worth a gamble. It's a bold gamble due to Rashford's high ownership. That said, Eriksen picked up an injury in the FA Cup which has ruled him out for the rest of the season, and this could make Bruno an even better FPL asset. If Man United line up with a pivot of Casemiro and Fred, or McTominay, this will allow Bruno to push further forward, and he'll now take more set pieces. Man United's first double game week fixture is Crystal Palace, who had the worst expected goals conceded this season from set plays. If you can't get to Bruno, but you want a Man United triple up, the defenders are showing a lot of value here, Martinez, Varane and Shaw. Rodrigo has 8 projected points. For comparison, Almiron has 3.6, so you can make the case for even taking a -4. Despite the double game week, Haaland might still clock over 100% effective ownership, so it will be a week where we want him to actually have a quiet one against Tottenham. If this video has been useful so far, please drop it a like and make sure you're subscribing so you don't miss out on future FPL content. Onto the transfer trends and starting with the most bought players, and Fernandes is top with just shy of 500,000 managers bringing him in. The other popular United duo, Shaw and Rashford, close behind. Mitoma's been absolutely flying as of late, 3 goals in his last 4 league games, and also registered 1 goal and 1 assist in his FA Cup games last month. Though as a reminder, both Brighton and Newcastle don't have a fixture in Game Week 25, this is how their schedule looks. So this is one you really need to fully consider. There is every chance he does well in the next 3 game weeks leading up to Game Week 25, but also consider how many assets you own from Newcastle, Man United and Brentford. At the time of recording, Man United and Brentford's blank hasn't been officially confirmed, but they're odds-on favourites to blank that week as well. The free hit chip has been discussed lots recently. You might be tempted to pull the trigger that week, though this will actually be counterintuitive. This graphic from Ben Crellin shows the potential blank Gameweek 28 fixtures, which has around a 92% chance of Man United and Brighton blanking again, plus Man City, West Ham, Southampton, Tottenham and others are likely to. This will be a better week to free hit, plus we haven't discussed the possibility to free hit in a double game week, which is something we'll talk about in other videos. Saka and Nketiah and Ødegaard are among the most transferred in. We talked so much about double game week 22, but if you're already set up for it, then it's perfectly sensible to be targeting Arsenal, who face Everton next, followed by double game week 23. Some managers are even looking for a combination of transfers such as De Bruyne and Almiron to Fernandes and Ødegaard, which is a very strong set of moves on paper. Onto the most transferred out players, and it's Cancelo top. A huge surprise at the end of the January transfer window as he moved on loan from Man City to Bayern Munich. We won't be seeing him again this season in FPL, and at the time of the loan announcement there were 4.1 million managers, so we might see him among those sold next week as well. 426,000 have sold Almiron. We've discussed his drop-off loss, and with back-to-back double game weeks ahead there are other options. Martinelli's a surprise to see in third. We are expecting to see Trossard competing for the same position, so this could eat away at his minutes, though he's not worth selling now unless you can get to another Arsenal mid, and is somewhat of a luxury transfer. De Bruyne is among the most sold with 179,000 transfers out, but we could see the reverse in Game Week 23, with many considering the De Bruyne to Bruno to De Bruyne play. We'll finish up as always with the captain poll results, and thanks to everyone who voted on the poll on Discord. If you'd like to join, the link's below. The results are as follows. Rashford leads with 86.4% of your vote, followed by Fernandes with just 7.1%. It has to be stated one last time, there is massive upside if Bruno can outscore Rashford, and there has been opportunities like these far and few between throughout the season. It takes a brave manager, and if you go for it, best of luck, hope it comes off. Haaland gets just 4.4% of the vote, Shaw and Rodrigo both with 0.5%. That wraps up the video, thanks for watching. Tomorrow's video will be the experts, an unmissable video every game week. Make sure you subscribe for that. See you soon for the next one.